Welcome to the Roadmap to 1 Million podcast. I'm your host, Stacey Zeal, and if you're looking for the high-level strategies and stories behind building a seven-figure product brand, then you're in the right place. On this show, we'll uncover the advanced strategies, stories, and secrets that you need to know in order to take your e-commerce brand to the next level. Are you ready to uncover your roadmap to 1 million? Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome to Roadmap to 1 Million. My name is Stacey, and I am super excited for you to be here. Today, we are going to be talking about some frequently asked questions that I get all the time when it comes to Facebook and Instagram ads. And so I'm excited because I reached out to some, put on my Instagram and posted some things into my email newsletter and all those kinds of things to get some good questions that y'all really want to know. And so I'm excited because some of them are techie, some of them are a little more high level. So I'm excited to answer them and to jump into them. But before I do, I wanted to make sure that you are, one, following the show because we have new episodes every Tuesday. So make sure you hit that follow button on whatever platform you're listening on. Hit the plus button if you're on Apple Podcasts. And then also I wanted to let y'all know we hit number 144 on the U.S. marketing charts. And I'm just like, okay, that is awesome. So thank you so much for everybody that tunes in, for people who are new here, who have been here for a while since the beginning. Thank you so much, y'all. This is it's awesome to kind of just watch the show really become something that is just helping people and impacting people. And I really want y'all to grow your businesses and to create marketing and advertising that you can actually use to actually take your business to the next level without the fluff, without all the extra stuff, but just like, this is what you should be doing and this is what you need to focus on. So I am super excited to continue the show into the new year and all that kind of stuff. And so I also, before we jump into the episode, I wanted to also answer questions about and talk to you about my new program, what I have going on for 2023, my new program called AMPLIFY. And so if you have watched my workshop that I have done, any of the most recent workshop that I've done, if you haven't, you can head over to staceyzeal.co/workshop, and we'll also link that in the show notes so that you can watch my free workshops that I have. But also, I wanted to talk to you about AMPLIFY, what I talked about in the masterclass about how to 2x your Facebook and Instagram ads. I talked about my new program, my new Facebook and Instagram ads training program called AMPLIFY. And so what is AMPLIFY? AMPLIFY is our new group training program that will teach you step by step how to strategically run your own Facebook and Instagram ads in-house to increase your sales and create recurring predictable revenue on autopilot. And so I created this training program, which is a hands-on training program that gives you the strategy, the support, and everything you need to be successful with Facebook and Instagram ads. So if you have ever taken an ads course and feel like you didn't get results because maybe it lacked the strategy or the support that you needed to get ongoing results, or you feel like it took you part of the way there and didn't take you all the way to the part where you're optimizing and scaling on a regular basis, this program is definitely going to help you to learn how to do that, because optimizing and all that kind of and scaling is a big part of the program. If you've ever been like burned by an agency and you really have decided that, you know what, I have somebody on my team, or I want to do this myself, I want to run ads on my own, or have someone on my team do it, this is definitely a program for you. And if you've tried running ads on your own and you got lost in the back end of Facebook and were just like, I don't know what I'm doing, or maybe you're like leaving money on the table, or you're wasting money, worse than that, because you don't understand the right strategies that you need to scale, or you're boosting posts and I'm not understanding that that's a waste of money. And so this training program is going to help you to accelerate your growth by giving you the exact strategies, training, and support you need to put your sales on autopilot without an agency. So quickly, I'm going to go through what the program is about, answer a couple of frequently asked questions that came up at the workshop or that have come up. And then we're going to dive into the frequently asked questions for Facebook. So what is AMPLIFY? So AMPLIFY is an 8-week live training program. So you'll get 8 weeks of live training and support with me, where we're going to actually create your strategy. We're going to create the ads. We're going to launch them. And then we're going to talk to you about how to scale your Facebook ads, how to optimize. And so we're going to be meeting about once a week for about 90 minutes. So you'll have access. Also, you get access to the program for 12 months. So even after the 8 weeks is over, you're going to get access to the program for 12 months, which includes the recordings, which includes the program updates, which includes the SOPs and the templates and all those kinds of things that are included into this program that will help you to be successful with Facebook ads. And then you also get access to an exclusive clients only Facebook community with monthly strategy sessions, live Q&A, and other community members who are also in the program that will help you to really kind of help you to get the knowledge that you need and to get the support that you need and to get the accountability that you need to be successful. Because that's the reason I created this program, and I sent out surveys to my list and all these things to really create a program for y'all that will not just take you part of the way there, not will just get you launched and say like, okay, now your ads are running and that's it, but will really tell you like, strategy wise, like what are we like putting the strategy in place, talking about what messaging is going to be the best for you, talking about what funnels your funnels and which one is going to be the best to send your ad traffic to, and how to improve that funnel so that way you have the best conversion rate possible. So I'm excited for the program. I am excited to launch this next year. We're going to be starting on January 17th. So who needs this? So this is a program for e-commerce. This is for e-commerce brands that are ready to scale. And so this is not for you if you are just starting out in your business, if you have not gotten any recurring sales, if you're really just still trying to figure things out. This is a program for you if you are trying to scale. If you're like, I have something that works, I am consistently making money, and I'm ready to take things to the next level. So you need this if you feel like you're doing a lot of marketing, and maybe all of the marketing that you're doing is not directly coming, tracking back to revenue, or a lot of the marketing that you're doing a lot of marketing and it got you to where you are, but you don't want to have to do all of that next year. You don't want to have to put in all the effort you put in this year organically to take your business to the next level to where you want to be. And so another question, does this apply to my business? So this program is for brands that are making at least $5,000 a month and you want to double your sales next month. So you want to go from 5K months to 10K months. You want to go from 20K months to 40K months. This is a program for you because, again, this is not for beginners. This is a program to help you to learn, to get the skills and to have the strategies and all the things you need to scale and to get to the next level. And so this is for you if you have built some momentum in your business and now you want to maximize, right? Like you've built momentum, you're getting sales, your customers are happy, all of those things, you're getting all these signals that it's time to scale and it's time to maximize on what you're doing. How much does a program cost? So when you apply by December 22nd, 2022, that's a little bit of a tongue twister there. If you apply by December 22nd, 2022, you save $500 and pay $2,500 for the whole program. Or there's a payment plan of 4 payments for $650. This program, again, it's going to be starting on January 17th, but this is the pre-sale price. This is the price that you get if you get your application in early, and you also get some bonuses. So if you get your application in by December 22nd, and this is on a sheet that we're going to link to, so you can have all the details about the program. But really, when you're thinking about this program, like you get the 8 weeks of live training, you get access to the program for 12 months, you get templates, SOPs, scripts, all the things that I have that I create for my clients, that I've created for my clients to help them to be successful with running their own Facebook ads. And then you also get a bonus strategy call with me that you can use between when you get accepted through the end of the program, or then the 12 months. So you get that bonus that you can use with me as a one-on-one session where we'll talk specifically like what's going on. I can take a look and do all the things and really give you the hands-on support you need. And then you also get as a bonus my influencer marketing growth guide. This is a guide that walks you through hiring the right influencers and getting great content so that you can use it organically, but then also you can factor in influencer content into your ads. That's a great strategy. That's one of the strategies I talked about last night for direct-to-consumer brands, that if you are a D2C brand and you're looking to scale next year, you definitely need to invest in influencer marketing. You need to do it correctly, but then you also need to take that influencer content and run ads with it. And so that's something that's in that guide. That's a bonus that you get for getting your application in by the 22nd. Okay. Next question about Amplify, and then we're going to, a couple more questions about Amplify, then we're going to go into our frequently asked questions for Facebook ads. So, do you help me with setting up the tech? So, In the first session, we're going to have a kickoff call, and then we're in that same session, we'll have a tech walkthrough. And so in our first meeting, I am going to walk you through what tech you need to have in place. So what your pixel, you need to have your pixel installed. I'm going to tell you, conversion events, all the different things that you need to have ready to go in order to be successful. And you also get step-by-step instructions or SOPs on how to do those things. So I have an SOP on how to install your pixel, an SOP on how to set up a business manager account, how to set up conversion events, how to do all the tech things that you need to get done in order to be successful with your Facebook ad. So whether that means if your pixel is already set up and it's working correctly, great. That's awesome. We could do some troubleshooting. We can talk about whether your pixel is set up correctly, all that kind of stuff on that first call. But if things are not set up right, or if the tech is overwhelming to you, or if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, rest assured, I have step-by-step instructions that I have sent out to clients, and they have actually used and executed on what has been in those SOPs, and they haven't had any problems. So, you'll be good. All right. What is the format? Is it a course? So I specifically did not make this a course because I'm going to be honest with you. I was going back and forth. I'm like, is it a course? Is it live? Is it a combination? I'm starting this as a live training because I want to make sure that y'all have the hands-on support that you need to be successful. A lot of times I hear from people who have said, I have taken 3 courses on ads and I'm still lost. I still don't know what I'm doing. I know how to technically set things up right, but the strategy's off, or I'm just not scaling, or running ads and it's just there. I don't know what to do. Right. And so I decided not to make this a course, not to make this a pre-recorded, I'll record it and then you can watch it and then you'll be on your way kind of thing, because I wanted to make sure that y'all get results, because I'm in the business of making sure people get results. And even from I do this in a VIP day setting, where I will teach people how to run their own ads in-house and train their teams on how to do it. And I've done it in a 1-day session before, and that works fine. But then I realized maybe if I spread this out, then people will be able to get more of the feedback of me actually looking at your creative and saying what's good, what's not good, how to tweak it. So it's not a course. It is taught live over the course of 8 weeks. And if you want to, if you want to know the breakdown of each week, definitely make sure you watch the workshop, because in that workshop, I break down what we cover in each of the 8 weeks and how it's formatted, how it's structured, all that kind of good stuff. But either way, we're going to meet once a week for 8 weeks. It's going to be about 90 minutes. So if you can block off 90 minutes of time, if you can honestly, block off like 90 minutes of time for training, then you'll be really, really golden. For 8 weeks. And then you get access to the recordings and the program and the templates and the SOPs and all the things for 12 months, even at, once the 8 weeks is out. So you really get access to the recordings and all that kind of stuff as well. So you can view it maybe as a hybrid, where you will start to be able to see recordings and digital resources and those kinds of things, but it's not a course in the sense that it's going to be taught live by me. Okay, so what happens after you apply? So after you apply, this is an application only program. I'm only taking 7 people to start, and it's going to be I'm very specifically handpicking people who I know are ready to run Facebook ads, or are ready to scale their business with Facebook ads, have the capacity to do it, and are going to be able to commit to this program. And it's because I want you to get results. That is the point. I don't want to just say I've had thousands of people go through my program and only 2 people got results. No, the point is for everybody to get results. And so after you apply, we are going to look at your application and we're going to let you know whether you get accepted or not. And so if you do get accepted, then you're going to get an invoice, you're going to get a contract, and you're going to get an onboarding questionnaire that you're going to fill out so that we can learn more about your business. And then leading up to the start date, January 17th, you'll get more things from us, more like, resources, different, the scheduled run of show, all those kinds of things that we'll start to roll out in January as we get closer to the launch date. Another thing people say, but Stacey, Facebook and Instagram ads make me itch. Okay. So let me say this. This is not your average boring, complicated training, right? I don't do boring and I don't do complicated. And so I have distilled each of these weeks down into easy, digestible trainings. And so you're going to also have me for questions. There'll be time for Q&A. There's a group for community and assistance and all those kinds of stuff. My team is also going to be helping out and really figuring out ways that they can help you all to get better results. So even if Facebook ads make you itch, I understand, I get it, but I tried my best to really make this the best program. And as you're the first people to go through this program, we can definitely make it amazing. We can continue to update it. We can, you can give me feedback, and I really love to take feedback so that if it's something is overwhelming, I'm like, okay, let's make this less overwhelming. Let's figure out how we can make this, simple and straightforward, because what I want to do is give you the roadmap for success for you, right? It's not about me just telling you here are hacks that you can do. It's not about me overwhelming you with every single thing you can do within Facebook. It's about where your business is at now, where you're trying to get to, what is the path that we have to travel in order to get there the fastest and the most efficiently. All right. Will I be running ads for you? No, I will not. This program will teach you or someone on your team, if you choose to have someone on your team go through this. This program will teach you or someone on your team how to run ads in-house without needing me or without needing an agency. Another question is like, you're super busy and you don't have the time. So I get that. So you can either enroll, for one, that have two responses to this. One, as I just mentioned, you can enroll someone on your team and have them learn how to do it. Two, if that's not what you want to do, you want to do this yourself, I need to just let you know that scaling your brand is going to take a level of commitment that you must make time for. So if you really want to 2x your sales next year, you really want to make sure you get to that next level, and you can allot 2 hours a week to this program, to being able to watch and monitor your ads and all that kind of stuff. Initially, in the beginning, getting things set up, it feels it feels like there's a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces, right? But as things progress, as we get ads built, as we get into optimizing and learning and all those kinds of things, as you start to get into the workflows that I create and the checklist and all the things that I have for my clients, as you start to get into those things, you start to realize that it's not going to take up a whole lot of your time. You just have to make time for it. You really just have to dedicate to it. And once it starts to make you a whole lot of money, you're definitely going to want to make sure you're looking at it, right? Until you have the capacity to hire someone or to hand the reins over to somebody on your team. And the last question before we jump into the Facebook ad frequently asked questions so my organic marketing works just fine. Why should I run ads? So one, if you're still at the place where you're like, why should I run ads or why should I factor in ads? I want you to make sure, one, that you watch the workshop over at stacyzeal.co/workshop, the free workshop, because in there I talk about how organic reach is dropping. I give you some stats on there, but I'm going to give you a couple quick things. So one, organic reach is dropping. So the effort that you put in this year, you're going to need to amplify that next year. And you have to decide as the CEO, like, do I want to put in the amount of effort that I did this year to get a less result next year? Where do I want to tighten things up? Where can I add some automation? Where can I, now that I have some things going in my business and I'm learning what's happening and what's working and I'm getting signals, where can I start to put into automation? Where can I invest my money to save my time? Right? So that's that. But then also there is such an important piece of being able to show up when they have a need for your problem, but they may not be thinking about you. And so the thing with organic marketing, if you're thinking about blogging and stuff like that or content creation, it's like, unless you're on a social channel, people have to be searching for your problem. Like they have to be searching, I am looking for pain relief for my period on Google. They have to be looking like, oh, I'm looking for a bookkeeping solution on Google, right? But if you want, and this is, and I used an example in my workshop, in the workshop, that was a great example for Ideal Image that had happened to me literally the day before the workshop. But keep in mind that like your organic marketing is only going to take you but so far. So either you're going to have to invest more of your time, or you're going to have to invest dollars to be able to get in front of people when they have a need for your products. They have the problem that your product solves, but they may not be thinking about you enough to be Googling you right now, or enough to be looking for that solution. Or they have 1,000 other things that they're Googling and other things that are on their mind. And they're like, oh crap, I forgot that I needed to get leggings. Or, oh crap, I forgot that I wanted to replace my candles with some more Black-owned brands. And I really, really did want to dig into that. Right? Like, have to decide, what are you going to put your effort into for next year? And that's something that I'm going to talk about in the last episode of 2022 is about mindset for next year. So make sure you're following the show to tune into that. Okay. So that is Amplify. Make sure that you check out the show notes to get a link to the document that actually outlines the program. And I just I put together a Google Doc, y'all, because I was like, I'm so excited about this program. I don't have time to wait for somebody to build a sales page. I'm gonna just put it in a Google Doc so that way y'all can get the information. Y'all can start to, think about what you're going to be investing in the rest of this year and next year. So the Google Doc is going to be linked in the show notes. And also there's a link to the application. If you feel like I am ready to apply, I really want to get into this program and secure my spot of the one of 7 spots that are going to be available. So definitely make sure that you head over to, scroll down, look at the show notes, click the links there, and all those kinds of things. Hey, are you doing all the things when you'd rather be CEOing? What if instead of doing all the things like figuring out the marketing strategy and leading the team, you could free up your time to focus on other areas of your business that really need your attention? That's possible when you work with my team at Stacy Zeal & Co. We are strategic marketing partners for e-commerce brands that want to take their sales and impact to the next level. Ready to stop playing small and do what it takes to become a big-ass impactful brand? Head over to roadmap1million.com to book a call with me. Don't wait. Now. Right now is your time. Head over to roadmap1million.com to book a call with me. I look forward to helping you get to your next level. All right, so let's talk about the actual frequently asked Facebook and Instagram ad questions that I get all the time. And I'm super excited about this, y'all, because this is fun for me, because I'm like, ooh, like I really just wrote down the questions and I'm just going to shoot it off the top of my head. So that way I didn't want it to sound too too researched and too scripted, because I really just wanted y'all to understand exactly what just get the answers just straight from me. So first question, I got this question recently, and it's interesting because I tend to say Facebook ads when I also mean Facebook and Instagram ads. And so if you'll notice, I've started to shift my content a little bit to start to include Facebook and Instagram. And the reason is because someone asked me a question. She said, so are Facebook and Instagram ads the same thing? And this is a business owner. She was trying to run her own ads and she's got a little lost. And so we were on the phone and she was like, are Facebook ads and Instagram ads even the same thing? And I said, I wonder if a lot of other people have that question. And so the answer to that is that Meta, who is now Facebook, his mama call him Facebook, so I'm gonna call him Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram, which is not new news. Facebook owns Instagram. Facebook owns WhatsApp. And so because of that, when you're building a Facebook ad campaign in Business Manager, which is where you should be building your ads, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but within Business Manager, business.facebook.com, when you set up a campaign in there, you can actually select to send this exact same campaign with the exact same budget, the exact same creative to Facebook only. You can send it to Instagram only. You can send it to both channels. You can send it to WhatsApp. So essentially, when I say Facebook ads, I do also mean Facebook and Instagram ads interchangeably, because it all comes from the same budget pool. It all comes from the same campaign. You can run on Instagram only campaigns, but you would build it the same way. You would just unselect that you don't want it to run on Facebook. You can run it into all the different placements on Facebook. So you can run it into the news feed. You can run it in Reels. You can run it in all these different sections on, different placements within Facebook and Instagram. So you can definitely do a whole lot of that. So Facebook and Instagram ads, they are different platforms, so they have different nuances, right? So we can definitely go into the nitty-gritty details of the differences between the platforms and how that impacts ads. But for the most part, most of the ads that I ran, especially, when I was at Zappos and when I work with my clients now, is most of those ads are running the Facebook is optimizing between Facebook and Instagram, right? We're not saying only run this on Instagram, only run this on Facebook. It's set up to run to all placements. And that's a best practice from Facebook. They want you to they lean into their algorithm and let their algorithm kind of decide where people need to see it. Sometimes you might see like an ad on Facebook. You might see an ad on Instagram. You might notice that. You're like, oh, I just saw this ad on Facebook, switch to Instagram, and I see that ad on there. So it's really just going to optimize based on where it thinks you're best going to convert. So like if I purchase things on Instagram more than I purchase things on Facebook and you're running a sales campaign, it'll most likely show me your sales ads on Instagram rather than showing to me on Facebook. So that's what that boils down to. All right, next question. So next question is, when should I start running ads? And this is something that I always start off when I cover in my workshop. So this is in the beginning of my workshops after I kind of go into my introduction and all those things. But the right time to there isn't like a specific like when you hit XYZ milestones, then you need to run ads, right? Because you could be $1 million business and you built that organically and you haven't had to run ads, right? So I can't even say like, oh, when you hit 100K, then you need to run ads because you can't get from 100K to 500K without ads, right? Like, so that's not that there is no kind of like nuanced specific checklist. But what I like to tell people is one, in order for Facebook ads to be successful, you have to have three things. And so when you have these three things in place, then that is a signal to you that is a good time for you to start running ads. And so the three things are: one, you understand what messaging resonates with your customers. Successful Facebook ads, ones that cut through the noise, the ad creative that cuts through the noise, has a message that resonates with customers. Right? It has a specific message. It's very specific, and I go through principles of creative and all that kind of stuff on the workshop. So you definitely want to make sure you take a look at that. But make sure you understand what messaging actually works. And this is backed up by data. This is not what you think, right? This is not just, oh, I think this message works. It's actually you looking into your data, you using some of your intuition, yes, and you looking at what people say and all that kind of stuff, and doing some market research to really figure out what messaging actually works. The second piece is that you need a customer journey that converts. So you need a funnel that already converts. And so the reason for that is because you need somewhere to send your Facebook ad traffic, right? You're not just keeping them on the platform. The goal is to get them off the platform and get them into your funnel, or get them into a customer journey that is designed to move people through the sale. That a customer journey is designed to move people through the sale. It builds know, like, and trust by moving people through a specific set of actions to get them to the sale. And so you need a customer journey that already converts, because when you understand that your customer journey converts organically, then you can compare the numbers that you're getting with your paid traffic to your baseline numbers, right? So you can say like, oh, if I know my funnel converts at 50%, but then I started running ads to it and it dropped down to 20%. And then you're just like, okay, that's a signal to me that I'm getting the wrong people in the funnel, because I already know it resonates. I already know it converts at a specific percent. But then when I send ad traffic to it, I'm attracting the wrong people. So you need magnetic messaging. You need to understand what messaging works. You need to understand a customer journey that converts. And then you also need your organic foundation set up. So you need to have your emails automated. You need to have, a way for you to build community and build a movement around your brand. So some kind of container for people to be a part of, whether that's loyalty programs, that's organic social media, that's a podcast even for D2C brands. I use an example about that in the workshop. So, or a Facebook group, something like that, right? Having a way to keep people engaged organically is imperative to Facebook ads, because while Facebook ads can hit every piece of the funnel, they don't have to. It's more effective when you map out that journey and you have your supporting emails, you have your abandoned cart emails that are already ready to go. So that way, if someone doesn't complete the purchase that first time, you can kick back in and get them to the sale. So it's important to have a organic foundation, right, to support what you're doing on your paid efforts. Another question that I get is, what the hell is iOS 14? And even if you know what it is, how do you beat it? What do you do about it? Okay, so iOS 14, iOS 15, people call it iOS 14, people like iOS 15. I call it 14 because that's when it came out. But there was Apple rolled out a privacy update that essentially allowed you as an Apple user to be able to decide whether you wanted to be able to send your data back into Facebook, or whether you wanted to be able to have the person be connected to the data that goes back into Facebook. And so if you think about how Facebook tracks ads and how how it really kind of makes the connection between what happens on Facebook and what happens on your website, is it uses a pixel. And so that pixel, I like to explain it as, is like a bridge between your Facebook, what happens on Facebook and Instagram, and what happens on your website. And that bridge is required because if it says like, hey, I send, for example, let's say I, Stacy, see an ad on Instagram, I click on that ad and then I go to their website. Do I complete the purchase? Do I sign up for the lead magnet? What do I do? So that pixel will send the signals back into Facebook to saying like, hey, Stacy did actually complete that purchase. So that's a signal to them to say, oh, okay, well, let me show this ad to more people like Stacy so I can get more people to convert. So that's essentially how a pixel works. And it's important to have your pixel installed on your site, even if you're not running ads, because that pixel is just always going to be consistently picking up data. So definitely make sure you install your pixel, whether you have your, whether you're running ads or not. But, so what does that mean for iOS 14? Essentially, what Apple did was kind of put a block between the user, between you, the user, and the actual data that's going into Facebook. So essentially, Facebook cannot connect what you specifically are doing on Facebook to, you know, any to the ads and stuff that you're doing. So essentially, it hurt tracking. It hurt, you know, being able to attribute and say like, oh, well, let me show my ads to more people like Stacy because I'm building kind of a profile about people like Stacy. So that is essentially what it did. And it hurt a lot of advertisers because, one, a lot of users are Apple users. So it was a big impact of being able to not see what's going on. And so how do you beat it? How do you get around it? So Facebook wants, you know, when I was working at Zappos, so I was meeting with Facebook literally every week. And so we were preparing for iOS 14 for months, and we still took a hit. And so what I learned and what I saw with working with Facebook is, one, like, you know, not being super specific and super tight on the audience requirements that you're putting in place when you're building your campaigns. And so not getting so granular that you're like targeting moms with toddlers between the ages of 2 and 5 that are, you know, running in the New York City Marathon, right? Like that's too tight of a target because Facebook is unable to specifically match that user to that data. And so what they recommend is using broader audiences, using broad targeting. That's one of the things, like an audience, like just really just letting the algorithm really kind of do its thing. So not putting any parameters or leaving the default parameters, essentially, when you're building a campaign. Using that broad audience, that works well. I run broad audiences with some of my clients. Some of them, you know, we see that it's too much and it's not working, and so, you know, we don't do those. But then other clients, when I'm working with them and looking at their audiences, I always tell them have at least a few million people in your audience size, so that way it's broad enough. And so those are some kinds of things that you can do technically. But if you're thinking about how to really cut through the noise with iOS 14 and all these privacy updates, is by really tapping into your messaging a lot better. And so messaging is what we need to use now as your targeting, essentially, right? Like if you're sending your message to a broad audience, that message that you have in your ad copy and your actual video ads and your still images, that needs to be what connects with your audience. That's your target right there. That's your targeting, is using that creative, using the messages to be very specific to the people that you are talking to. And in my workshop, I also talk about the 5 principles of Facebook and Instagram ad creative that convert. So definitely make sure you watch that, because I go into actually like how to create, you know, ads that actually cut through the noise. And this is why, because we have to stop leaning so much into the tech side of marketing that we get back to the message side, and we get back to the human side, and we get back to the authentic side of creating experiences and marketing and messages for people to actually speak to people, and not just trying to game an algorithm to get it in front of the right people. So that's iOS 14, and that's how you beat it, essentially. All right, a few more questions. This is one of my favorite questions I get. So, are boosting posts the same as running ads? Should you be boosting posts? All that. So I'm gonna give you a whole rundown of why boosting posts is a waste of money, and why you should not be boosting posts if you are investing in advertising. Because so Facebook, Instagram, they have so much data on us as consumers, as users of their app, right? The app is free. When the app is free, you are the commodity, right? And so Facebook has so much data on us, from posts that you linger on, from things that you share, things you interact with, what you do when you get off the platform, if you're clicking on an ad and going to his website, what are you doing? So it has so much data about us that has been able to bucket us into essentially be able to bucket us by behavior. And so it's able to see someone who to say like, oh, you as a Facebook user are more likely to comment, like, and share, but you're not more likely to purchase. But maybe Stacy, for example, is more likely to purchase from an actual ad. And so, or Stacy is more likely to sign up for a lead magnet, or Stacy is more likely to go to an actual page and actually let it load, right? And not just click on an ad, see that the page is loading and then just leave, right? So it's able to bucket people by behaviors. And so what does that have to do with boosting posts? So when you boost a post, the default, the actual objective, and the thing that you're telling Facebook that you want more of is comments, likes, and shares. Boosting posts, again, are a default to an engagement objective, meaning when you boost a post, Facebook is going to say, okay, let me show this to people who are more likely to comment, like, and share. Comments, likes, and shares do not pay the bills, right? Engagement does not pay the bills. And so what you want is for people who are more likely to make a purchase. You want people who are more likely to sign up for a lead magnet. You want people who are more likely to go to a blog post and actually read it, or actually allow the page to load, right? So that's what you want. You want people to actually take an action off the platform. You don't want them to just comment, like, and share on your stuff. And so that's why boosting posts is a waste of money, because will you maybe get some sales here and there? Yes. But you're not going to get as many sales as efficiently unless you're running sales objectives, or if you're running conversions objectives to get people to take the action off the platform. So stop boosting posts. I know Facebook makes it real tempting. They're like, ooh, don't you want 10,000 more people to see this? Or don't you want more people to engage with this? Sure. But do you really? Or do you want more people to make a sale, right? If you want people to actually, because like followers do not equal, just because you got 1 million followers don't mean that you got 1 million customers, right? And so boosting posts, like just to be able to say like, oh, my engagement rate's really high, I get a lot of comments, likes, and shares. If there is a reason for that, go at it, right? If there's an actual tangible objective that you can apply your engagement rate to, then go for it. But if you're like most brands, if you're like, especially like most D2C brands and most e-commerce brands, your goal is to get people to get sales. Your goal is to maybe get leads for your quiz. Those kinds of things are the goal for you. So boosting posts is a waste of money and you should not be doing it. 2 more questions, and then these 2 will be quick, and then we're going to wrap. All right. So should I run ads myself, or should I hire someone? So this is a question that came up on Clubhouse the other day, and I thought it was really interesting because I had literally just recorded a podcast episode about this. And so it was cool to see that it was coming up. So go back and listen to episode 10, where I talk about agency versus in-house. Should you be running your own ads in 2023? And that episode is going to go in very deep about the pros and cons of each, like the pros and cons of like budgeting wise, but then also the pros and cons of like energy wise and what kind of company you're trying to build and those kinds of things. And so I mentioned, during my Amplify program, it's going to be, if you can dedicate 2 hours a week to really like, getting to watching your ads and to scaling your ads and all that kind of stuff, then you'll be very, very golden, right? You'll be in a good spot. But if you really decide that you don't have the time, you don't care to learn Facebook ads, you don't want anybody on your team to be put into the program to learn it themselves, then you definitely want to consider hiring an agency. So go back and listen to episode 10, because that gives you more in-depth information about making that decision, because it is a decision that as the CEO, you really need to give some thought into, right? It's a great episode. So definitely go listen to that. All right. And then the last question is about budgets. How much do I need to budget for Facebook ads? Does $5 a day cut it? I'm going to go ahead and say $5 a day is not going to cut it. As we all, ad costs are going up. Cost for everything is going up, right? Everything is expensive right now, and ad costs are no different, right? They go up, especially during this time of year when it's December, or when we're in holiday season, all of that kind of stuff. Ads, costs tend to go up. And so $5 a day is not going to cut it. And it's going to $5 a day has you moving incredibly slow. It has you getting data. You're like kind of inching forward, getting data, getting a little data here, a little data there. And you're not able to really look at it, holistically to see like, am I making a dent? Am I getting closer to my goal? So I recommend people run a minimum of $15 a day. I would even say probably now a minimum of $20 a day. And in the program, in Amplify, we are going to talk about budgets and how much you should be spending when we create our plan. And it's going to be based on one, like how much have you budgeted for your marketing? It's going to be based on, where are you seeing efficiencies? How much money do we want to make from the campaigns? I always recommend my clients when we're training, we start low, right? We start a little bit lower. So we start at a minimum of $15, $20 a day. Start to see what's happening and see what's, where we're getting efficiencies, where are we getting, where are we getting signals? What what optimizations can we make to make things more efficient? And then we start to scale up budgets. And there's a way that you do that. There's a technical way that you have to increase your budgets in order for you to maintain the learnings and the efficiencies that you got. And so in the technical training, and when we talk about tech and all those kinds of stuff, we're going to talk about budgets. We're talking about optimizing and scaling. We're going to talk about how to shift your budget, how to increase your budget over time, how to decrease your budget, how to learn when something is working and when it's not working so that you can budget accordingly, and how to really just identify how much money you really can afford to spend efficiently so that way you can get the results that you want. So that's my conversation on budgets. I hope that this was a helpful episode. I think this was definitely helpful. One, because I got to give you a lot of information about Amplify. So if you really, really are considering, like, I want to run my own Facebook ads next year, I want to have someone on my team run my own Facebook ads, I want to be able to integrate into this world of automation and having my leads and my sales happening 24/7, happening whether you are on the beach and enjoying your CEO time or you're in the office, right? So head over to the show notes, scroll down to the show notes and click a link to the document to learn more about Amplify and to be able to apply. If you want to watch the workshop, definitely the replay is up. So head over to stacyzeal.co/workshop. That's also going to be linked down in the show notes below. But next time I will be talking to y'all on Tuesday. We are almost done for the year. So make sure that you follow the show. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you share with a friend. And I'll definitely see y'all on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Roadmap to 1 Million podcast. I just know you got a nugget or two from that episode that will take your brand to the next level if you take action. Keyword, take action. So head over to stacyzeal.co/checklist to get a free resource that will help you to take action on what you learned today so that you can get on to building the brand of your dreams. And be sure to leave us a review so businesses like yours can get this gold as well. All right, y'all. I'll see you on the next episode.